Yo, what's good, YouTube? I'm doing a beat mixing tutorial. I'm back. I'm basically answering some questions that I got from YouTube comments. So if you got more questions, make a comment. I'll make a video. Basically, it's like a beat mix video, but the way I mix beats is more like on a production end than engineering. So I'm kind of going to show you what not to do to mess up your beat. And I'm just going to go through it, and then I'm going to do a part 2 with mastering. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the beat, and then I'm going to kind of go through each part and show what I do. Yeah, so that's the beat. I made it with Massive plugins and Omnisphere plugins, and then I always use Battery for my drums, but I pick my own samples. And so part of the mixing process actually starts with Battery. So once I load my samples in, I can actually tune each note or each sample. So I can tune the clap with this right here. I can lower or raise the volume. I can pan it. I can shorten or lengthen each sample, and that's kind of the beginning of mixing the drums. The next thing I'll do, and this is super important that I now do on every beat, is with my 808s. Every single 808 is I'll add R bass from Waves, and I'll basically, as it's playing, I'll run through the frequency knob up and down until I find where it basically sounds to me like basically big. It's not loudest, but biggest, because that's kind of the goal with 808s, is you want to be big, not necessarily loud. And once I find that, I'll lower the gain so it's not too loud, and I'll add intensity so you really hear what it's doing. And that's really how I get my 808s. People are always asking how I get my 808s to get bigger, and that's what I use is R bass. Yeah, so once I add the R bass, I'll play it with and without it so you can see the difference. You're gonna need either headphones or good speakers to hear the difference. So the next thing I did, and this is another question I get a lot, is how do I mix 808s and kicks together? The first thing is just choose the right kick sample and 808 sample, because essentially, depending where the key of the song is, or basically the simplest way to put it is wherever your notes are for the 808 will change what frequencies you're hitting, which will change what kick you want to pick. So if I'm playing higher notes, I might want like a lower kick. Or if I'm playing lower 808 notes, I might want a higher kick, like pitch-wise. So in here, what I did with this kick, really all I did was lower the volume and then roll off some of the low end. So it wasn't like, sometimes I like when they smash together the 808 and the kick, but sometimes I like when the kick kind of like punches through or sits on top. So this is what I did with the kick. Originally, it was like this. So then that's obviously super banging. It's a little too loud, so I did this. And that's basically it. That's really all I'll do for kicks. Something I used to do, just because I would read online too much, is I would take out high end from a kick, because I was like, oh, it's not supposed to clash with this, that, and the other. But I'll show what that sounds like, and I really don't like taking out high end from a kick. So I'll run through what a lot of people tell you to do. Don't do it. or try it, but I won't do it. So you can hear when I take out the high end from the kick, all of a sudden you lose that knock, and you're gonna notice that, not even knock, just like where it kind of taps through the speakers, and you'll lose that in like playing it off like laptop speakers or iPhone speakers. Yeah, so 808s and kicks super important, especially for this kind of music. With my synths or keys, what I usually do is I'll just try to play and arrange and pick a sound that already sounds good. So with these, what I did is I played it first through Massive, which is a synthesizer I was using, and I added some effects, some chorus, some other little, like, only really chorus to widen the sound. And then I recorded them from MIDI to audio, so I have the audio tracks here. And then once I made them audio, one of them I added a filter, one of them I didn't add anything. So that's really just, I'll show what it sounds like without the filter. It's almost like a production thing, but it helps with the mix. To me, it was way too bright. So now with that filter, it sounds background, but it also sits better in the mix for me, like where I want that. And for keys and stuff, I keep it simple. I mainly mess with the volumes. If there's too much low end in the synth, take that out so it's not going over the 808. And that's about it, really. Just don't add too many synths, then it's in the way of the drums. For like percussion and things like that, I really just pick sounds. So I'll play my drums by themselves. If I have to take out or add too much to percussion, unless it's like an effect like delay or reverb, or like a spring reverb, then I just won't pick the sound. I'll just go to the next sound. But here's the percussion that I used. And all I really did was lower some of the rims a little bit, some of the hi-hats, and the kick and the clap. The last thing I'll do is I'll put something on the master. So I'm mastering the beat, but I'm not really mastering the beat. It's kind of like I'm just making the beat sound finished, kind of making it sound a little more compressed together, making sure it doesn't clip, and just making sure it smacks every time. And so I'll do that in part 2 of mixing beats.